Hello and welcome to this 11th round races 23 and 24 in HSO's BTCC 1996 Championship. And in the booth tonight is our friend and driver in this event in one of the Peugeots, Pascal Mikula. Good evening, Pascal. Okay, so Pascal is probably out on track since qualifying has started on the server. It's me not having set everything up properly. There we go. Good evening, Pascal.
Hiya.
How is it looking so far this evening?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for asking. And for you?
It's pretty good. A little bit tired and a tad bit stressed. Something came up at the last minute, so that's why I myself are a few minutes late tonight, this evening. But at least it's all ongoing at the moment. So yeah, I noticed or mentioned that you're driving the Peugeot. How are you finding that compared to the Mondeo you drive? You drove at Thruxton.
A lot better. A lot better.
Really?
Considering that the Ford was a independent one.
Ah yeah, fair enough.
And this one is a factory car.
I'd assume it's still pretty heavy, but maybe not as heavy as the V6 Mondeo though. But anyway, I'll let you get on with.
It's not bad. I mean, I was offered to drive the BMW today. This is the first time I ever said it, but I actually preferred the front wheel drive over the rear wheel drive at this track here.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I do remember.
The BMW is really unstable.
Yeah, I do remember driving this race in a BTCC 1988, I believe we did at HSO with the Touring Car Legends mod, which was the mod we used for these Touring Car series before the Super Touring mod was updated and fixed as such. And I managed to get the Ford Escort of that series to go almost as quick as the BMW M3 around here. I think I was 0.3 or something off on pace in the Escort compared to the BMW.
Yeah, I wanted to use my Thruxton setup for today for the Peugeot, but Miroslav Havlik gave me a setup. And it was just like a new car. I didn't even think that I could get any faster with this.
So in other words, Havlik has indeed managed to find what makes these touring cars tick.
Indeed.
Well, I think I'll let you get on with your driving for the last few minutes here while
I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah, while we will quickly go through the standings of the series before we head to the track action. I think we'll have a couple of minutes left of qualifying when we finally get to the track. I do again apologize that I am a bit late this evening. But in the standings we can see that Peter Blom has secured the championship, I believe. At least that's what's being said, so that's why I put a victory greenery around his first place number, but if I'm mistaken, then I do apologize. But anyway, Peter Blom in the Honda Accord is leading the championship and presumably is the champion on 242 points, the Dutchman. Richard Coxon lies second still in the Renault Laguna, the Wilhoy car, on 201 points. The German Jan Titz is third in the Frank Biela Audi on 174 points. And Grégoire Goissin, who has unfortunately been unable to race with us, and that's one of the reasons that Peter Blom has been able to secure the championship this early on, because Greg was challenging Peter early in the championship and beating him in races, but he is, I don't think, driving tonight, but he has been driving the Volvo 850, I believe the Rydell car, the number 3 car, but he has put together 147 points so far. And Jakob Fredriksson in the Vauxhall Vectra, I'm not sure he's on the... yeah, he should be on the server tonight. I think I saw 2 Vauxhall Vectras. And he is 5th on 123 points. Looking a bit further down the grid, or standings I should say, after round 11 at Thruxton, Richard Wilkes, Peter Blom's teammate in the Honda, is 6th on 103 points. And then there's a bit of a gap to the Nissan Primera of Matthias Weber on 60 points, and 1 point behind is David Yates, who unfortunately aren't driving with us anymore. I don't think he asked for one off this time around. But he was driving the Nissan Primera for 2 or 3 rounds before he had to retire from the series due to work commitments. Yves Placé in the BMW is 9th on the same amount of points, that being 59. And Ray Riddell has been able to climb into the 10th position, passing Ricard Soania. He's driving the Renault after having swapped from the BMW after 3 or 4 rounds, and he has amassed 44 points. And in the Independence Championship, Dave Simmons is our very secured champion in that championship. He has been driving the Vauxhall Cavalier, but for this round being his last, as he will miss the last round of the season due to him being on holiday. But he has been promoted to the Vauxhall Vectra, the works team, with a bit of working together with Matthew Hull, who has stepped down to driving that Pro Motorsport Cavalier. But Simmons has 253 points, and Hansa Mild in the Team Dynamics Ford Mondeo, lying second, has 177 points. Øyvind Andersen in the venerable Toyota Carina is third on 166 points and is in with a chance of catching second placed Hansa Mild. And David Saber is fourth in the Vauxhall Cavalier on 153 points, and he passed Mick Chapman in the most recent round due to Chapman not being there, but I believe Mick is here tonight, and he is driving the second Team Dynamics Mondeo, and he has amassed 145 points. But let's jump to the track and the action here. Let me just minimize that. There we go. So let's see if we can find out. So Peter Blom is currently on pole, as we have 3 minutes left to run. And Jan Titz is out on track at the moment, but he is about halfway round. But let's ride on board with, or maybe not ride on board with Richard Wilkes as he goes off. Richard Coxon is just crossing the finish line, so let's bring up the track, the circuit map. And I unfortunately don't have that list with me at the moment, so you'll have to read the corner names themselves. But this is the old hairpin. That's one of the few corners I know from heart. And we are joined by, I believe, Peter Blom. We'll chat to you in a moment, if that's okay. Just want to let everyone ride on board for this lap and let them see the track. In case anyone watching didn't see the opening round of the championship. As we go under the Dunlop Bridge and into the chicane coming up here. Bit of a crest just before you brake, so this braking zone is somewhat difficult. And of course those tires will send you off if you hit them. And we have the second to last corner, this little hairpin here. There we are, the lap is finished, so let's jump out to a trackside camera here. And yeah, Peter Blom joined us, and I noticed that you are currently on pole here. So looking like you'll catch your, whatever this would be, 9th pole or something in this championship.
Could be, I don't know. I'm still watching the qualifying. Maybe we can do the interview after the qualifying.
Yeah, sure. That's perfectly fine. So let's...
Too many engine noises in my ears. I cannot hear you.
Okay.
It looks very promising for Peter at the moment. He's like 0.3 of a second in front of Jonatan. So, pretty sure he's gonna get a pole again.
It's definitely possible. Or likely.
Yeah, I think it will be a tough battle with Jan in the race because he will take the lead in the first lap, I think.
Yeah, he has that 4-wheel drive to help him in the starts.
Wasn't it the same in the first round of the championship? Wasn't there the same thing with the Audi taking the lead in the beginning?
And then all hell breaking loose behind going into the whole happen. As we are currently watching Jonatan. There we are, now I'm ready for this. My apologies yet again, but my preparations are somewhat lacking. But that looked like a pretty good lap for him. Please go ahead.
I must say, I wish a front-wheel drive car would handle even half as good as the all-wheel drive Audi. That looked awesome.
Yeah.
You know, we saw the corner exit from the old hairpin just went full throttle with 80 k's through the corner. For example, me with the Peugeot, I can only go 75 at most without going off the road.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing, but yeah, it looks like the qualifying is over. Dave Simmons in his one and only outing in the Vauxhall Vectra is sitting 7th after qualifying. Just ahead of you, Pascal, so both of you having some couple of good qualifying runs.
Oh yes.
And let's see, in the total cup it looks like David Saber once again is the fastest driver. But unfortunately it only looks like we have 4 entries in the total cup. Sorry, make that 5. But yeah, Peter, Another pole position.
Another one! Yay!
I assume you're
I
pretty
did
happy.
some laps yesterday evening, but get my act again together on this track. 'Cause we didn't touch this track since the first race in January. Long time ago. And, but yeah, good lap, and I think Jan did a good lap as well.
Yeah, I didn't actually see what he did in the end, but considering how good that looked, he can't have been too far away.
Yeah. And
300,000 away from Peter, so that was a really
Wow.
good lap.
That's really impressive them, since Peter has been sort of the class of the field for most of the season, apart from Greg.
apart from Greg, I think, yeah.
Although, of course,
But,
there have been rounds where you've been challenged by especially Richard Coxon and Jantitz. But yeah, looking into the race itself, with Jan's second, as you said, I'd assume him to take the lead. But do you think you'll be able to pass him and go for another win?
It all depends if I can get past Jan, and I'm not gonna take a lot of risk, but I think I have to muscle myself past, I think, because this track you cannot there are not enough long straights here, so
I'd assume your best overtaking opportunity with a Honda would be into the Fogarty-S's, the chicane on the back straight.
yeah. But the problem is in those corners before the straight, Jan has much more grip than us, so
Ah, yeah, that's
we
true.
do not have time enough. We do not have time enough to pull them in.
Also at the start, I don't know if you already mentioned that.
Yeah, and I did.
At the start, all the front wheel drive cars have the big wheel spin, and the Audi just goes.
That's very true, and we didn't mention that, but thank you for bringing it up just in case, Pascal. Let's see.
I'm gonna go to the race, guys. Catch you after the race, okay?
Yep, take care and good luck.
Yeah.
And
User disconnected from your channel.
looking into the race for you, Pascal, how do you rate your chances at possibly a top 5 maybe?
I don't want to lean out of the window too far. Top five would be at the absolute maximum for me.
Okay.
That I want to finish in the first place, because that's always been a bit of a problem for me in the BTCC series. For example, at Thruxton, I raced at Thruxton in total 4 races, or finished one of them, and I hope I can finish both of the races today here at Donington. And if I do manage to finish, I want to at least be in the top 10. Between 5th and 10th position, that would be good. That would be great for me.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. And yeah, looking at the track itself, do you agree with Peter's view on the way the circuit is laid, that the overtaking opportunities may be somewhat lacking, or you feel that there are good opportunities?
I think the right turn, I think the left-right section in the first sector is kind of an opportunity to overtake if you're careful. But I think the biggest opportunity to overtake or the biggest opportunities are the straight towards the chicane to Old Hairpin. But there you of course have to be careful with the braking because of those anti-cuts. They can end your race as soon as you hit them. And also the straight, also the part leading towards the actual hairpin.
The Melbourne hairpin, yeah.
Exactly. I think, yeah. I have no idea what the corners are named, so I have to rely on you.
The Old Hairpin is the fast right-hander at the bottom of the hill I think
Okay.
I think you take it in 5th or 4th gear. So it's back in the day when, as we see a bit of a practice pass being made by Havlik here. When the track was made in the early 20s, I believe the track was created. That turn was actually more of a hairpin than it is today.
I mean, look at the straight where Coxon was.
Attention, all non-essential personnel.
That straight, the end of that
now.
straight. I mean, with the passing opportunity, and the straight after that chicane.
Yes.
You know, the braking zones. So.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
exactly that. But okay, now the race is starting, so.
Yep. Good luck, and hopefully we won't speak to you until after the race.
Alright. Thank you. And I hope you got fun watching.
I think we'll have a good bit of fun. So let's see. We need to bring it up just a little bit. There we are. So, on pole position, as we mentioned earlier, is Peter Blom yet again in that Honda Accord. Second is Jan Tits in the Audi, most likely going to take the lead off the line because of his four-wheel drive, but a mistake can happen, so we'll see in a little while. Third is Miroslav Havlik, Pascal's teammate, in the Peugeot, so he, as we mentioned earlier, definitely has found his mojo and what makes these touring cars tick, because he's been really fast in the last few rounds. Fourth is Richard Wilkes, with fifth Richard Coxon. Sixth for Matthias Weber in that Nissan Primera, the car that actually finished second in both of the races in the opening round, so that car definitely has potential. And seventh for Dave Simmons in his first run in the Vauxhall, so I think he'll be very happy with that. Pascal Mikula gets 8th, with Yves Placé in the BMW 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is Jukka Matonen, who is in a one-off in that Vauxhall. So he is driving, let's see, number 7, so yeah, that's Jakob Fredriksson's Vauxhall. 11th, and on pole in the Privateer Cup is David Saber in that Vauxhall Cavalier. 12th for Petr Lavac. 13th for Ray Ridal, 14th for Eivind Andersen, 15th for Philippe Martinelli in the second of the Audis, 16th for Mick Chapman, 17th for Juha Boss, 18th for Matthew Hull, and 19th and last on the grid for Simon Watman. Let's see if we can see the lights from this position, otherwise we'll have to jump back just a little bit. Okay, so let's jump on board with Havlik's Peugeot here as we wait for the lights to be lit up and the race to get underway. Can hear some of the revs rising, so I think we'll be good to go in a few seconds time. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 red lights, and the green lights is on and the races go. And yeah, we can see immediately that Jan Tits has had a fantastic start. Oh, and looks like there's just a little bit of kerfuffle behind. Richard Wilkes is looking up the inside of Miroslav Havlik and taking a position. Richard Coxon follows him through. It looks like the whole field gets through red gate okay. So let's jump back down to the old hairpin as we can see Jan Tits still in the lead. Peter Blom second, Wilkes third and sliding. Coxon looks to go for second, but it looks like everyone gets through the old hairpin okay as well. Yep, they do. So let's jump back here and see. Yep, Richard Coxon is up to third. Sorry, my apologies. When a bit behind, Pascal Mikula is under attack from Matthias Weber, but he's able to hold on to the position. One behind us, too wide between Lavac and I'd assume that's Jukka Matanen, and Yves Placé is getting in here as well and going up the inside, 3 wide going into the chicane. Oh, and it looks like there were a bit of contact. Ooh, sideways and all kinds of stuff going on here. Ridal gains a position, maybe 2. Juha Bors looks to try and gain a position as well. And yeah, it looks like, oh, sideways for one of the BMWs, but everyone gets through more or less okay. Oh, and Juha Bors all over the inside grass there. Oh, a bit of contact with Lavac. And a lot of locked brakes going into red gate. But it looks like everyone has survived the opening few laps. So let's jump back up to the front of the field where we can see Jan Titz still in the lead with Blom second, and he is being attacked by Richard Coxon. So let's jump on board with Coxon here and see what he can see. So we can see what that looks like Richard Wilkes has reached. Oh no, sorry, that's Peter Blom, so he has gotten up into the lead and passed Jan Titz already. My apologies. So that's Richard Wilkes who's gotten by Richard Coxon up into 3rd. You can see his stat. Looks like Dave Simmons is up into 7th. It is indeed Dave Simmons, sorry, up into 5th. So he is definitely having a good opening few laps here. And he is being followed by Miroslav Havlik. Matthias Weber has gotten by. Oh, sideways is Yves Placé coming out of the chicane. Oh, and that's Pascal Mikula, so he has had a moment somewhere. Let's see if we can find out. Oh, he hit! Oh, dearie me. Ah, that's very unfortunate indeed.
Yeah, I was under attack from Matthias and he grew way inside of me. And that's why I couldn't see the anti-cut when I turned in.
That's very unfortunate indeed, but hopefully you'll be able to continue.
I don't have a rear wing, and at Thruxton I didn't have a rear wing either, so probably a good thing.
Well, we'll see in a few laps time how it's shaping up, but again, bad luck. Let's see, a bit further up the grid yet again, we can see that Jukka Matanen is attacking Matthias Weber now, trying to gain a position, and then we can see up ahead that Miroslav Havlik has gotten by Dave Simmons. We can see that the Vauxhall Vectra here is moving about a little bit and really fast stuff, but I think he'll be looking up the inside going into copies. Or he looks at it, but he decides that discretion is the better part of valor. Looks like Richard Wilkes up ahead has been passed by Richard Coxon. Oh, and here he comes, going up the inside is Matanen. Oh, but Weber can brake really late. Ooh. Good thing that Matanen was willing to back off, otherwise that could have ended in tears. Actually, Eivind Andersen is in the lead in the Privateer Cup at the moment, so David Saber has had a moment somewhere. And it looks like at the front, Peter Blom is in the lead, Jan Titz second, Coxon third, Wilkes fourth, Havik fifth, Simmons 6th, Weber 7th with Matanen 8th, Eivind Andersen 9th, but he is being passed by Raymond Riddell. But Eivind running wide at red gate, so he'll lose the position. So Ray Riddell up to 9th and Eivind Andersen in 10th, but here comes Peter Lavac up the inside. Oh, that's really brave in the Craner curves, but he is able to take the position, so he's up to 10th. And Eivind Andersen in the space of a couple of corners is down to 11th, but still leading the total cup. Oh, and Matthew Hull is way off at the old hairpin, trying to make room for his total cup compatriot in the form of Mick Shupman. Just about avoiding a bit of contact there. Let's see, from the back of Jan Tits, he is being hounded by Richard Coxon. Coxon goes to the outside. And he runs really deep, but he is looking for the cutback. Doesn't get it there though.
That was Slovak. Slovak got off in the chicane.
Oh dearie me, that's not good. Let's see if we can get back to... Oh, Felipe Martinelli has some damage as well. Missing a rear wing. So
Yves Placé just spawned in the hairpin.
Oh, it looks like Lavac has a right front puncture. Here we can see a battle between Matthew Hull and Pascal Mikula. And it looks like Peter Lavac is out of this race, unfortunately. And Yves Placé is out as well. Wow. That's really unfortunate. But Yves Placé is soldiering on in his damaged car, so at least that's good to see. And up a bit further yet again, let's see what is happening up here. Jan Tits still defending from Richard Coxon. Coxon doing his best to secure second in the championship. Tits and Coxon are those fighting for the other top 3 positions in the championship. It looks like into Melbourne hairpin, which is this hairpin here, is Coxon's best opportunity to look for a move on Jan Tits. Problem is for him to get into a good position coming off copies and through the chicane.
Martinelli is now exiting the pits.
Oh wow, has he been into pits for oh dear, oh wow. David Saber with a big moment going through the cranny curves. Oh wow. Let's see if we can ride on board with him and watch it from his point of view. He's up the inside of Juha Bors coming down the... And here is the left hand. Oh, he turns in for left hand and the rear end just comes loose on him. Wow, I think David had his heart in his mouth then. That was really close. But of course he will be wanting another win. Simon Wattman is sitting third in Total Cup at the moment, with Mick Chapman fourth. Looks like Felipe Martinelli has been in to repair his car because he now has a rear wing. So he felt that his car was not drivable without the rear wing and all the other with the damage that he had to his car. But Pete Blom is still well and out in the lead. I think he is enjoying his ride and drive here, not really having to work too hard. But the battle for second is still on, and it looks like Richard Wilkes is able to gap Havlik at the moment, but Miroslav has had some good pace, so he could still come up with a late race charge. And Dave Simmons still holding strong in 6th position, with a big gap to the guys behind him. So
someone got off in the first turn.
Oh, that looks like Juha Bors. Oh, he has lost his front bumper. See if we can find out what happened to him. So he goes in and just misses his braking point a little bit, locks up the tires and goes into the barrier, similar to that of Richard Wilkes in race 2 of the first round when we were here earlier.
That will be bad for you because now he's probably got even more understeer than normal.
I should have, but you never know. It's a bit difficult to tell for sure what will transpire from all of this. Let's ride on board with Mick Chapman for a lap here. Just listen to that beautiful engine and see if he can do anything about Juha Boos up ahead, and if Pascal Mikula may have an opportunity to go by himself. Really nice cutback here. And he actually has the nose ahead going down the left hand at Craner curves, and I think he may have gotten a little bit sideways there, but here comes Pascal Mikula back on him, going around outside. No, sorry, that's not Pascal Mikula. Juha Boos, of course, going for the move here, but he backs off, and here comes Pascal Mikula looking for the opportunity himself to go by. Who tries to cut back, not quite enough room on the inside there, so he stays behind for the time being. That's a really nice pass from Chapman, and a nice try at a recovery pass for position from Juha Boos. But now we can see right behind him is Pascal Mikula. As Pascal Mikula goes up the inside, looks like he has gotten a position, so a nice schoolbook pass there for Mikula. And he holds on to the position going into the Melbourne hairpin. A little bit of a nudge from Juha Boos just to tell him that he's still there. It looks like there's a nice little battle, although not for position outright. Actually, even Anderson has dropped back a lot. I wonder what happened to him. He was leading in the Total Cup earlier. My apologies, I don't know exactly what has happened there, but it is a battle for position here between Matthew Hull and Felipe Martinelli as they go side by side down into the Craner curves. Thankfully, Felipe backs out of that.
Sorry to correct you, but it's not a battle for precision actually. Felipe Martinelli is one lap down.
My apologies. Well, they are still able to have a nice little battle between themselves, and that's good to see. And my apologies. Yeah, I ended up in the wrong area of the field for some reason. It looked like Irvin was behind everyone, but he is still in the lead in the Total Cup, sitting right behind Ray Riddall. And Jukka Matanen is trying to hold on to the back of Matthias Weber, but that Nissan looks pretty strong here. And he is actually catching up to Dave Simmons, who himself looks to have dropped back quite a bit from Miroslav Havlik at the moment. Havlik still trying to hold on to... as side by side coming out of Redgate is Richard Coxon and Jan Tits, and Coxon gets the position. Let's see if Jan Tits will have anything for him coming out of the old hairpin. Actually looks up the inside into the old hairpin, that's a bit brave. And I think that... Coxon gets a little bit loose, but it looks like he will hold on to the position, so let's see if we can quickly find out what happened. Let's see, coming out of Goddard's, the last turn hairpin. Coxon goes... Jan Tits goes a little bit defensive. Coxon goes for the wide line into the turn and goes for the cutback, and gets a really nice cutback, and that allows him to get up the inside and get a good run off the turn, and he gets the position. Really nice pass there. Jan Tits with a really late move into the Fogarty chicane. That looked very dangerous indeed. At least from that camera angle. It may not have been as close as it looked, but Jan Tits won't give up that second position that easily. Whereas he'll have a small look up the inside that he gets really close up the rear bumper of Richard Coxon. I just love these kind of camera angles where you get really nice close-ups of the different cars. Whereas Coxon runs a little bit wide coming out the red gate, but it looks like he got a good run off the corner. Jan Titz himself was running deep, so he had to pinch it just a little bit to get through it without running way wide. And I do seem to remember that Jan Titz was struggling with tyre wear later on in the opening round races, so it could be that Titz has begun to struggle with the tyres. Since we are over halfway into the race, we have 8 laps at the start finish line, 7 laps to go in this race. I noticed that Weber has closed up further on Dave Simmons, so this could be another battle to watch for 6th and 7th, with a possible 8th place driver of Jukka Matanen getting in on this.
Dave Saber has some problems, probably a puncture. He's very slow at the moment. And he's definitely
Oh
struggling.
dear me, yeah, he has a left front puncture. Just went straight on in the Melbourne hairpin. Let's see if we can possibly find out how that happened. Oh, he got it away very early. Oh, he went off at Koppis. Oh, he hit the curb. He was closing in on Øyvind Andersen, hit the curb a little bit too hard and went up on 2 wheels, was able to get it back on 4 wheels, but not in time to avoid the barriers, and they greeted him and gave him a puncture. That's very unfortunate, but he'll be back for the second race, looking for the win in the Total Cup.
From which position on do you get points in the championship?
I believe it's 10th for the overalls.
Okay.
As Pascal Mikula goes up the inside of Simon Wattman going through Schwab's curb. But Wattman has the inside for McLean's and keeps the position for now. Oh, but Mikula has a good run, looking up the inside. Oh, this will be dangerous at Koppis. Wattman holds on around outside. Great defensive driving and good on Pascal to not hit him either. But here he comes up the inside, thanks to a bit more engine by the looks of things. And possibly that lack of a rear wing gives him a bit more straight line speed as well. But Pascal goes by and up into 11th position, so almost into the points here. Not that far up, well, it's about the straight between the second to last and last turn to get up into 10th and the points for Pascal, so I think he could make that in 6 laps. But we'll know in a little bit's time. But Jan Titz is still trying to work on Richard Coxon for 2nd and 3rd here. So he is definitely doing his best to maintain a potential 2nd place in the championship. You can see that Jan Titz can brake really late into the fog at the S's. While we have a bit of time, I'll just quickly let you see the standings as per you being able to find your favorite driver, since I know that's been asked of me earlier. We'll continue doing that. Oh, Jantit's looking up the inside, going into Fogarty. Actually, I think he gave Richard a small nudge in the middle of that turn, but all is good. Oh, it goes up the inside. Oh, he has to really slow the car down, otherwise I think he and Coxon would have hit each other. A bit aggressive on that defensive in some way, but then again I don't think Tits quite had the overlap, so looks like the second half of the lap is where Jan Tits is a lot stronger, just like Peter Blom said in the warm-up before the race. While Richard Coxon is really strong through the old hairpin and the Craner curves. But unfortunately for us as spectators, it looks like most of the field is fairly spread out. Unfortunately, it looks like Philippe Martinelli has called it an evening as a race as well, having retired on lap 9. But Øyvind Andersen, our Norwegian, is currently leading in the Total Cup, so let's give him some screen time. I didn't quite expect him to get a win, but David Saber has that tendency of either he wins or he has some kind of issue, so it was definitely a possibility for Øyvind to get into the lead, and at the moment he's holding a pretty big lead in the Total Cup race, and I think he'll be very happy with the second place here. And if he gets, first place in the Total Cup, and I believe if he gets it, he will actually climb up into second position in the Total Cup Championship, as he only had about 12 or 13 points, I believe, to get into second in that championship. And that's pretty impressive in that Carina, since it is, I believe, 2 years older than the modern works entries, so 1 year older than the other Total Cup entries. But of course the Carina was a pretty successful car during 93 and 94, where they, as the works entries, was in with a chance at the title. Make that 92, 93 and 94 actually. Where in 92 and 93 they win with chances at the title in the hands of Will Hoy. And Andy Rouse, of course, before Andy Rouse switched to the Ford team as a driver to begin with, and then as a manufacturer of sorts for a couple of seasons before he went on to work with the Nissan Primera semi-works entry that Matthias Weber is driving, and a few other drivers has driven for one of the two teams with blue cars, the Works Ford entry being the other team with blue cars. This camera angle really shows the elevation change going down Craner curves. Pretty amazing to watch. And wait.
I'm tired.
Oh dearie me. Let's see if we can find out what happened to him. Oh, I think he may have rolled coming out of the Fogarty S's. He did indeed. He went into the chicane, hit the second right-hand curb, and unfortunately the car overturned and didn't end up on the right side, and he was forced to retire.
Really sad.
Yeah, he was doing a good job.
Those cars are really unstable on the curbs.
Yeah, being a year old and a bit less worked on as such. That's very true indeed. And as you say, very unfortunate. But I am seeing that you are catching Eivind a little bit, so you may still be in with a shot at that position with 2 laps to go.
Hopefully.
As Ray Ridal sits neatly in 9th. Jukka Martinen still in 8th with Weber 7th. Simmons 6th with Havlik 5th. And actually Simmons is closing in a little bit on Havlik now, so maybe Simmons has a bit better tyre wear compared to Havlik. Richard Wilkes is still sitting in 4th position, 3rd for Jan Tits, and he is still working on Richard Coxon. And of course Peter Blom is still in the lead as Jan Tits looks up the inside, trying to get a position off of Richard Coxon here. We can hear and see how early Jan Tits is on the gas coming out of the Melbourne hairpin. When he looks up the inside, I think he has to overlap this time. Oh, not a lot of room, but old Coxon just about holds on around the outside. When he goes up the inside at Red Gate, oh, I think he overshot the turn. Yep, here comes Coxon back on the undercut and regains the position. This is the last lap, by the way, so that is why Jan Tits went for that try at the pass. When he's really trying here. And I don't think he will have another opportunity as 2nd position. Let's see a bit further back. See what's going on. Looks like the gap is just a little bit too big for Pascal to get points in this race, but I'm sure he will be back in the 2nd race and having a bit of a better one, considering what happened.
I hope that Eugen makes a mistake. That's all I can hope for now.
Nothing ill meant towards Eivind Andersen, of course, but you want those points in the championship.
Just as they say that I'm the one making a mistake.
And here comes Peter Blom around the last turn, and he is going to take the win here in race 23 of the championship, and he is happy with that, flashing his lights. And here comes Richard Coxon, so he will take 2nd and strengthen his 2nd position in the championship with Jan Tits 3rd. 4th for Richard Wilkes, I think he'll be happy with that. 5th for Miroslav Havlik, and in his first works race Dave Simmons gets 6th, so I think he'll be pretty happy with that. 7th for Matthias Weber. 8th for Jukka Martinen. 9th coming towards the line now is Ray Ridal. And 10th, by the looks of things, will be Eivind Andersen as he goes into the Goddard's hairpin and goes towards the start-finish line and gets 10th position and the win in the Total Cup. So I believe he will now be in 2nd position in the Total Cup Championship. Pascal Mikula struggles or works himself up into 11th and finished the race with a nice little recovery drive. 12th for Mick Chapman and 2nd in the Total Cup race, with Juha Boos 13th. 14th for Simon Wattman, so he lost out in the last few laps. And 15th, I believe this will be. Yep, it is David Saber. I don't believe he has crossed the finish line yet, but I could be wrong. But of course he picked up some pretty hefty damage, so but he is still working to get across the line, I believe. As we are joined again by Peter Blom. Congratulations, Peter. Looked like a pretty easy race for you there.
Yeah, I think I made a... Thank you. I think my overtaking in the first lap on Jan was crucial, I think. Otherwise I would be trapped behind him, like Richard. And... but they were... I could get a gap of 5 seconds, but I could not get it to get bigger because guys behind me were becoming quicker and quicker during the race. So they had a very good pace behind me. I think the second race will be much closer.
Yeah, I think that could be very likely, considering everyone has been able to speed up in the second races when they got a bit warmer in their clothes and their cars somewhat tuned up, maybe.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I'd assume you'll be looking for another pole position, considering you have had almost
Oh,
all of the
yeah.
pole positions so far in this championship.
Well, I hope so. I don't know, but we have to see. Huh?
Very true indeed. And I believe that will, without a doubt, secure you the championship either way with that win. So congratulations on the championship.
Oh, I think I had it last race.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Yeah, I believe so. I wasn't.
One race too late.
Yeah, I believe so. I wasn't entirely sure. So
Thank you.
But anyway, congratulations on the championship.
Yeah, thank you. And see, Honda can do a good job as well. Nowadays in Formula 1 and do a shitty job. And in 1996, now they do a better job in 1996.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's a bit like they said for the Indy 500, wasn't it? Either Alonso would finish in the top 5, or he would retire with engine failure. There were no other alternatives.
Yeah.
I've read recently about Williams and Honda for next year going together.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any truth on that, but I read that like really quickly, and I just thought, yeah, why?
Yeah, I heard that as well, and that's as someone I read a comment on that, and as that person said, I think that the only chance that this will actually happen is if it comes with 3 engines for no money at all to be paid. And I suppose that's somewhat true, since I believe Williams still has the Mercedes engines in the back of their cars.
Yes.
But anyway, I think we'll take a few minutes, 2 minutes break here before the second qualifying. So for now, I'll leave you with the music in the background, and when we get back, we'll be in the second qualifying.
Yep. You after the race, I think.
User disconnected from your channel.
As we are back into qualifying 2 for this round. I apologize, but I really enjoyed that piece of blues improvisation, as it's called. But anyway, we are in qualifying. Now I didn't quite see who it was, but I'd assume it was possibly Jonatan, one of those passing the line very early on. So let's ride on board with him for a lap here and see what he can do as the first one of the first to cross the start-finish line to finish their first flying laps. Running a little bit wide at copies, but otherwise this lap has looked really good so far. Really jumping the curbs and the fog at the S's. As he comes across the line, let's see what kind of lap he's done. Currently a 1:37.4, so about 4, maybe 5-6 tenths of what the fastest times has been that I've seen, but still a very good lap indeed. And here comes Dave Simmons and does a 37.6, so he does a pretty good lap as well. Richard Wilkes comes there with a 37.7, and then Ray Riddell smacks in a 37.1. Really nice lap from Ray there. And then a 37.401 for Miroslav Havlik to get second for the time being. And I wonder, where is Peter Blom? Because he hasn't... don't think he's crossed the line yet, has he? No, he hasn't. He has started his flying lap, as has Richard Coxon. So let's ride on board with Richard Coxon here as he heads down into the Melbourne hairpin. Looking pretty good, maybe a little bit wide, but I think he brought the speed with him pretty well. Looking like a pretty good last sector as well, and here he comes to cross the line, and he does a... oh, only a 37.7. Oh, but a 36.7 from Jan Titt, so he's on fire at the moment. Peter Blom finished his lap as well at the 37.0, and Ray Riddell, I believe, has improved a little bit to a 37.1. Though of course I could be wrong. And Pascal Mikula 37.9, and for the top 10 position at the moment to 38.3. Which is Jukka Martinen, currently on pole in the Total Cup race is Mick Chapman. Or as we saw one of the Vauxhall Vectras on the inside of the track there, at the inside of McLean's. when someone has hit the tires at the Fog ATSs, I think I saw some kind of bodywork laying around. We're really late on the brakes for Mick Chapman. Still gets the car stopped pretty well. I think he may have missed the apex just a little bit, but still pretty good by the looks of things. Down into the last turn. So let's see, I don't think he improved, but he is still... Oh, that was... yeah, he didn't improve, but he's still on pole in the Total Cup. Matthias Weber has gotten up into 37.624. Pascal Mikula has improved as well to 37.3, so that's some nice pace from Pascal there. And Peter Blom has improved to 36.6, so he has a little bit over a tenth in front of Jan Titz right now. And Ray Riddell still with a surprising third on the grid at the moment with a 37.1. See, Miroslav Havlik is out on track. I'm not entirely sure if this is a hot lap or not, but definitely looks like he attacked the Fog ATSs pretty aggressively.
Looks really good for the Peugeot team, I would say.
Yeah, definitely looks like it. 5th and 6th if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed. And I must say, I am personally really impressed by my time. Since I did manage only a 1:38 something in the first qualifying session, and I didn't change my setup at all. So,
Well, you got your eye in for the circuit and maybe learned a thing or two from other drivers where you could possibly brake a little bit later, or where you could take a different line.
Indeed. I must say, I'm still impressed. Over a second faster than my qualifying lap, which is really nice.
Yeah, it is indeed.
I hope I stay on 5th place, because it's pretty much, if I can stay on that position, I can get some valuable points.
Very much so. I wouldn't be surprised if Miroslav Havlik still wants to be the best Peugeot in the field, so because he is on a hot lap here and trying pretty hard. We can also note that he stays well off the curbs and the second part of the back straight chicane, the Fogarty S's. Looking pretty good. Haven't seen any major mistakes on this lap, so could improve.
He's driving really smooth through that last corner, way more smooth than I am doing that.
Yeah. Oh, and he does improve. He actually goes up to 4th ahead of Richard Wilkes as well. A 37.252 ahead of Wilkes with a 2.61. So less than 1/100th of a second between them. That's pretty impressive.
Indeed. And I'm kind of afraid that I'm gonna lose 6th place too, because Richard Coxon's done a 37.316 compared to my 37.309. And watching him drive right now, he's really hammering that throttle.
Yeah, he's definitely trying, there's no question about that. The problem is whether he's overdriving the car or not, because he is seemingly down on pace here compared to where he's been earlier in the season. As we can see, one of the BMWs very kindly jumping out of his way, coming out of the Melbourne hairpin. But it could also be with the Indianapolis 500 that we broadcasted this weekend. If you didn't watch it, I'd urge you all to watch it because it was pretty hectic. OS Coxon goes up into second position. Wow.
136.693. That's a wow.
That's a blistering lap right there.
That completely blew my mind right now. That lap.
Here I'm saying he's a little bit down on pace compared to where he's been, and so that's all that's needed for him to improve.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he heard that and he just wanted to just tell you, look at this, Jonatan, I can still do it.
Yeah.
I still have to punch.
Yeah, indeed. It's also very interesting to see that Ray Riddle is still in still in the top 5 with a 37.1. That's I think if he gets 4th, that'll be the best qualifying position he's had all season. And we can see that it takes a slightly different line coming out of the Melbourne hairpin. And okay, so he's heading into the pits. Let's see if anyone else is out on track. Richard Wilkes is still out on track and doing his best to try and improve. But to reiterate on what I was saying, which partly isn't true anymore, but the reason Richard Coxon could have been down a little bit on qualifying pace in the first qualifying session could be that because the Indianapolis 500 was moved due to issues with the original track that was going to be used, he may have had less time to practice for this than he usually has, which could be the case for a few others. I know Frank Deschaven watched the Le Mans 24 hours and he said he still hasn't quite recovered from that, and he considered himself at risk of being a liability for other drivers and therefore didn't want to drive this evening, which you sort of have to commend, considering there's nothing stopping you really from jumping in and driving even without little to no practice in simulator racing. And Jan Titz just jumped up into... No, sorry, that he's still in third. I thought he jumped up, but I'm wrong. As we are just closing in on the end of the qualifying session. Let's see, Matthias Weber is still out on track to finish his final flying lap, so let's jump on board with him and watch him drive the Nissan Primera for the last half of this lap. Who was he? I think. Oh dear me! Yeah, he overshot the Fogarty S's. That was a big moment for him. Let's see. Here comes Dave Simmons to finish his final flying lap. Currently sitting in 9th, hoping to improve just a little bit. Oh, he does improve his lap time, but unfortunately not his position. Peter Lavach, let's see if anyone else is out on track. Philippe Martinelli is out on track at the moment. And the second of the Audi A4 Quattros. As he comes across the line. Let's see, unfortunately he did not improve on his lap. Oh, but Matthew Hull was unable to improve on his final flying lap, getting up into 17th on the grid. And here comes that. I think that would have been either Havlik or Mikula. I think that would have been Havlik possibly. But yeah, that rounds out the qualifying session. Peter Blom again takes pole position overall, and in the Total Cup, David Saber gets another pole position himself, which I think he'll be happy with.
Well, I must say, best qualifying I had so far
Yeah,
in this series.
congratulations on your, I believe, 7th, if I'm not entirely
Yes,
wrong.
Yeah, I couldn't say best qualifying I ever had because my best qualifying, of course, was last year at Kyalami for second, but it was still a great one.
Yeah. Okay, so apologies for that, but I was just having a little bit of a look at what's going on the side. But yeah, looking towards the race, I'd assume it'll still be between Jan Tits and Peter Blom for possible win, with Richard Coxon
Attention grid, we're all non
with a chance to go for it as well. Obviously, Miroslav Havlik could also have a chance at the win, as could, due to the pace they just showed in the qualifying session, was Øyvind Andersen just left the grid.
Øyvind just left the server. It crashed out.
But also Richard Wilkes and Ray Riddell could have a chance, and of course Pascal Mikula possibly, dependent on what happens in the race. But we'll see what the admins decide in regards to Øyvind's unfortunate issue there, but Peter Blom took the pole position with Richard Coxon second, third for Jan Tits and fourth for Richard Wilkes, fifth Ray Riddell with sixth Havlik and seventh his teammate Pascal Mikula, eighth for Matthias Weber and ninth for Dave Simmons, and rounding out the top 10 was Peter Lavac. 11th for Jukka Matanen with 12th for and pole in the Privateer Cup for David Saber, 13th for Juha Bors, 14th Philip Martinelli, 15th for Mick Chapman, 16th for Matthew Hull, 17th for Simo Wattman, and he rounds out the grid. Okay, looks like the admins won't be starting the warm-up to allow Øyvind to jump in, so that's very unfortunate, but it's up to the admin's discretion to decide on that. And it'll also be interesting to see whether Richard Coxon may be able to start Peter Blom here and get the lead going into turn 1 if Jan Tits doesn't. And we will jump on board with Jan Tits for the start here. Partly because we'll be able to see the lights, and partly because if he gets a fantastic start, we'll see it immediately. Okay, so we're just waiting for the lights, and the lights is on. 4 red lights, and the lights are green, and the race is underway. Jan Tits gets a fantastic start. Just look at that! Absolutely tremendous start. Let's see, going into red gate, everyone get through more or less. Pascal Mikula, I believe, that was running a little bit wide, losing out a couple of positions, as did one of the Vauxhalls, possibly Jukka Matanen. But everyone gets through without any major damage. Havlik is up to 4th, so that was Mikula running a little bit wide.
Actually, I am in 4th.
Ah, sorry, Mikula is up to 4th, so that was my apologies, I can't quite see the numbers from far away. So Mikula up to 4th position. Great work with that. A nice little start there, and taking advantage of other people's troubles. And let's see, Richard Coxon, I believe, looking for a bit of a cutback on Peter Blom here to go for the 2nd position and possibly the win later on. Mikula trying to hook onto them if he's able to. Oh, braking really late, going into the Fogarty chicane, as did the guys behind him, with Lavac, and Lavac got really sideways coming off the chicane, and he loses out to Havlik, who he actually pushes Havlik wide in the Melbourne hairpin. That's a bit questionable maybe, but well, the race is still going on. Up at the front, Jan Tits has a little bit of a gap to Peter Blom now, with Coxon third. Mikula still in 4th position, doing a good job on the opening lap. Wilkes trying to look to catch up to the back of him and giving a bit of a run for his money, as is Matthias Weber in 7th or 6th, sorry. 7th for Peter Lavac, 8th for Ray Redal, so he dropped a few positions on the start. 9th still for Dave Simmons. No, sorry, that's Jukka Martinen, so it was Dave Simmons who ran wide in the opening lap. And Havlik rounding out the top 10. Oh, what is this? Oh, Richard Wilkes off the track.
Wilkes touched me and I just I lit over the grass.
Oh dearie me, wow.
I was just a passenger and I hit Wilkes at the side.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Well, that's just one of those things. At least everyone is still going, so all is well, more or less. But Peter Lavac was able to take advantage, as did Matthias Weber in that kerfuffle. But that opens up a big gap between Blom, Coxon and Tits, with Tits still holding on to the lead from Peter Blom in 2nd. When Blom and Tits goes to the inside, Coxon round outside. Oh, Peter tries to sell Tits a bit of a dummy there, but Tits, he runs wide out the red gate. I think this would be Blom's opportunity to go by. Yeah, he is by, so let's see if Tits is able to attack him really shortly here. Either that or Coxon needs to go by and hook onto Blom's rear end. Well, Ray has a great run on Pascal Mikula here, but nothing comes of it. And here comes Havlik up on the inside of Ray Ridal into copies, but he has a little bit of contact, I believe, because he was that sideways, but they were able to survive. David Sabre is still in the lead on Total Cup though, with Juha Bors behind him. And Dave Simmons trying to work his way back up the field. He has regained a few positions already. Simon Watman and Mick Chapman is in a battle here, as Chapman looks up the inside, going down into the Melbourne hairpin. But Watman looks to, maybe not. Chapman runs out a little bit wide, but flashes sorry to Simon Watman and holds the white line on the outside and gives Simon a good clear shot at going up past again. Oh, and someone lost. Oh, that's Philippe Martinelli who lost his rear wing yet again. I thought I saw something laying on the ground, but I thought that was a track marker or something. Went 3 wide. Oh, that was there's a bit of a lag by the looks of things.
Matthew Hall sadly retired again, probably again flipped the car.
Oh no.
Or something.
Oh, and Philippe Martinelli is off. Philippe Martinelli is out. So he had an a moment down here. We was on the grass. He had no rear wing, of course, and the rear end just swapped ends on him, similar to that of what happened to Keith O'Dore in 1992 at that turn, when he actually rolled over the crash barrier and everything. When Havlik has been off the road as well, by the looks of things, or has at least had something happen to him, maybe a screen freeze or something. Yeah, it looks like he had a screen freeze because he dropped back a lot and went off the track and resumes in last running position. Oh, and Richard Wilkes has dropped back behind Pascal Mikula, so don't know exactly what happened there, but maybe you can tell us, Pascal.
I just went up the inside of him after this SS or after the chicane, and
Okay.
into Melbourne happened.
So a nice opportunistic pass then. Good to hear. And Peter Lavac next on Pascal's list, with Matthias Weber a bit further up the road, and then we have Blom, Titz and Coxon running first, second, third. With Coxon, I believe, dropping back because he tried a move that didn't quite work, and Blom streaking away in the lead. And unless he makes a mistake, I believe he will snatch the second race here this evening as well. And Peter Lavac actually up into 5th position. I didn't quite catch that, so he'll be very happy with that. And that's of course a position that Pascal Mikula will be wanting to take away from him. And of course Richard Wilkes, Ray Riddle, and not quite sure who is behind there, is not that far behind, so Jukka Matanen, so they are not that far behind either, so everything to play for all these guys. Pascal running a little bit deep into the Melbourne hairpin, as did Wilkes behind him. Ray Riddle and Jukka Matanen dropping a couple of car lengths to those two. Was Wilkes has a small look. Oh, actually a tap there. Oh, but thanks to the front wheel drive of the car, Pascal holds on to it and doesn't lose more than a couple of tenths, so good job from both of them. Richard Wilkes for backing out when he realized that it wasn't going to work and he actually tapped him, and Pascal for saving the car.
I must say, too bad it didn't rip my rear wing off, because otherwise I would have more chances against Peter right now.
Oh, dearie me, that was a big moment for Peter. He ended up on the grass coming out of the old hairpin, and the car broke loose on him. Wilkes trying to have a small look up the inside at McLean's, but the door is firmly shut. And for the top 3, it's still status quo. We can see that Pascal is actually, Peter is actually drifting that BMW around the Exeter Coppice, so the car is very loose, but he is driving it really well at the moment. He locks up his left front wheel going into the Fogarty S's. And here comes Pascal with an opportunity, going up around outside. Let's see if he tries for a cutback possibly. Yeah, I believe he did. He's actually up the inside on the exit. Let's see if Peter can get the power down in his rear wheel drive BMW. Pascal drops back behind, tries to look for the cutback again. But really close, but it looks like Peter has hold on to the position for now. It's a good clean battling between Peter and Pascal, as Pascal again has a bit of a run going into Red Gate, who he tries to sell Peter a dummy, but Peter holds the inside line more or less completely. Oh, but he gets a bad exit out of Red Gate. He must have missed a gear or something, because here comes Pascal going past. Mr. Wilkes trying to get by as well. He has an overlap. Oh, almost hitting him in the rear going down Cranus. That would have been a massive off. Thankfully he was able to avoid Peter's rear end, and both of them survived the Craner curves. But Pascal up into 5th position, and I think Pascal will be very happy with that for the time being.
I am.
Oh, and Richard Wilkes taking a lot of the inside there. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just barely saying anything because I have to concentrate on keeping the position right now.
I'll let you be for the time being then. So Peter down into 6th position with Richard Wilkes close behind, Ray Riddle just behind him, and Jukka Matanen just behind him. A bit of a lock-up moment for Pascal, but he was able to gather it up and get into the Fogarty S's perfectly fine. And here comes Richard Wilkes with it looks like a pretty good run, looking up the inside on Peter as Peter goes, oh dear me, this will be bad. Oh no!
Unbelievable.
And that's really unfortunate. That shouldn't have turned you over at all. And that's really unfortunate. Let's see, we can see here that Peter tries to defend from Richard Wilkes down the inside. He gets hit by Richard Wilkes when he tries to take the defensive line, and that sends Peter Lavac into Pascal Mikula, and that sends Pascal Mikula off the road. So more or less a racing accident, but really, really unfortunate.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I take it you are out of the race then?
Yes.
Well,
I almost managed to flip the car back up again, but didn't work.
That's
That
really
was a dumb move. That was just a dumb move, I must say.
well, it's just one of those things, because Peter was trying to defend from Richard Wilkes, and Richard Wilkes unfortunately gave Peter a small tap, but a small tap is enough on the rear-wheel drive super touring cars, and that sent Peter into you, as I said. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but it's what can happen.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, that was... No.
But the battle for
Yeah.
second is on, so still some good racing to go in this race.
Well,
So-
that's the end for me then. I'm out, so... Have fun commentating on that. Yeah.
Okay,
See you then.
that's really unfortunate, but still a good couple of
User
races there.
disconnected from your channel.
So obviously Pascal a little bit disappointed, but it is understandable. He was on for a possible top 5 there, and for no fault of his own, he is unfortunately out of this race. But Jan Titz is still holding on to second from Richard Coxon. As Coxon goes up the outside, going down into the Melbourne hairpin, probably will be wanting to try the cutback yet again. But we can see that Jan Titz 4-wheel drive really helps him coming out of that hairpin. Peter Lavac still holding on to 5th position, even with all that going on. Let's see, that's Jukka Matanen working on the rear end of Ray Ridal. Ray Ridal has no rear wing, so I think that happened down in the Melbourne hairpin, because I saw a blue bit of bodywork laying down there when Pascal Mikula went off earlier. And Dave Simmons is up into, I believe this will be 9th position. And Juha Boos is in 10th, so he is on for points. I think he'll be happy with that. But Dave Simmons, a good recovery drive, getting up to 9th, and I believe catching Ridal and Matanen for 7th and 8th. And, sorry, that's Simon Watman, so what has happened to David Saber? David Saber has had an off. He has no rear wing and has some damage, so I believe... Oh, he's off in the crane curves, no rear wing, and that's a big one. Wow. Oh, don't turn over. Okay, so he survived. Just about. And he tries to get going once again, as he is passed by the Peugeot of Miroslav Havlik. Let's see if we can quickly see what happened to rid David Saber of his rear wing. My apologies, that it is somewhat unprofessional, but it is what it is. Okay, it happened probably more than a lap ago, so we'll jump back to the battle for the lead in a Privateer Cup between Watman and Chapman. Should be a pretty good battle, this. The Ford should have a bit more engine, but that Cavalier up front should have a bit better handling. As he has a small look up the inside, but doesn't go for it. Instead, holds back and will wait for another opportunity to arise. Because he is able to go really late on the brakes into Redgate. We can see that Wattman has a bit higher mid-corner speed, even though he broke a little bit earlier, so looks like these two fellas are fairly closely matched. Whereas Wattman runs deep in the old hairpin, this should open up a possible opportunity for a pass up at McLean's for Chapman. Or maybe not, he decides to not go for it. Albeit he has a good run through McLean's, could go for a move up at Copies if he wants to. No, okay, he is definitely waiting. He wants a good, secure and fair pass here. That's not British touring cars. Come on, Mick, go for it. Oh, he has a small look down. I thought he may have even listened to me then, but he has a small look and gets half a cut back. He may have a run down into the Melbourne hairpin here. He definitely looks for the inside. He's going for it. He's going up the inside. A bit of a locked up brake there, but Simon gives him a good bit of room on the inside, and Simon still has an overlap though, going down into Goddard's. Oh, when he brakes really late. Can he hold it on the apex? No, he can't. Chapman tries to do the cut back. Oh, but the curbs messes Mick up just a little bit, and Simon holds on to the position. Really nice battling here. Mick goes for the inside at Redgate. And Simon again gives him enough room to go for the move and sticks on behind him, and will now himself look for an opportunity to go by. Nice little exchange there. Oh, Chapman runs deep in the old hairpin, as did Simon Wattman, to be fair. I think I'll call them Mick and Simon because their last names are fairly similar. Ooh. Simon hit the curb then, and that loses him a little bit of time. I'm fairly sure he'll be able to catch back up to Mick here and give him another run for the lead and possible win in the Total Cup. With that battle cooling off for the time being, let's look a bit further up the field. The battle for second is on. Richard Coxon is right up behind Jan Titz going down Ukraine curves here. When he has a good run coming out of the old hairpin. When he goes for the cutback, he will be on the outside for McLean's here, but he could have a cutback. He looks for it, and he has it, but Titz goes defensive again, going down towards Copies. And Titz Coxon going around the outside here. He may even have an overlap still. They are side by side in the Fogarty S's, and Titz holds on to the position. Wow! Oh, I may have spoken too soon. No, Titz gets the inside line, but really late on the brakes. I think he overshot the hairpin just a little bit, and Coxon trying for the cutback. Nice exchange between these two as well. Sorry for not catching that try for a repass that Titz did, but in its full capacity. But still some good action here. As Coxon again tries to look for a chance to go by Jantis. We can see far up ahead, going down under the bridge there, is Peter Blom in the lead. Coxon has a run going down into McLean's. Well, I think he may even have given Jantis a bit of a nudge there. And again, really hot on the brakes for Coxon. Trying to gain every little bit of a 10,000th of a second he can on the brakes. Because it seems that's where he's strong compared to Jan Saudi. Let's see if he can get a run out of here. Maybe, not quite. And Weber in a very by the looks of things safe 4th position. Oh, but Peter Lavach has lost out to Richard Wilkes, so Wilkes is up in the 5th and Lavach down to 6th. With Martin right behind it. No, sorry, that's Dave Simmons, so a lot has happened back here. Simmons has caught up and gotten by Ridal and Martinen, and Simmons is now working on Peter Lavach, who actually gives him a bit of a nudge as Lavach got sideways, but he backs off. As not to take advantage, very sporting of Dave there. Nice to see that he wants a fair fight. Oh, I believe Peter may have. Oh, he just got very sideways. Let's see that. Let's watch that on the replay here. You see, he feeds the power on just a bit too much. Gets really sideways, but he's able to hold it. But now Dave was up the inside, going through Hollywood. And Ridal still holding on from Martinen. When Dave had a look at the old hairpin, a little bit of a nudge on Lavach's rear bumper. So Dave definitely looks quicker than Peter here, but the question is whether he'll be able to pass him or not. Martinen is one off drive, doing a good job, sitting in 9th at the moment, I believe at least. Yep. But as he almost, he actually, he actually hit Ray there. I thought he would have avoided him, but Ray turned into the corner, got sideways himself, and made a little bit of contact, but both survived, so all is good, I think. Although it was, as I said, very close. And Chapman has actually gapped Simon Watman here, so it looks like Chapman may be on for a win in the Total Cup race. And it looks like David Saber has retired, unfortunately. Dave running wide at the old hairpin. This may give Ray a bit of an opportunity to go by. He definitely has to run. And it's very difficult to find a way by up here. When I think Peter had a bit of a moment himself, getting a bit sideways on the power. So this will be a 3-way fight going into the... was that him off completely? Yes, it was. Peter Lavach span off coming out of copies. So he loses 3 positions with that. Let's see if we can quickly catch that on the replay. He got the car just slow slid on him, and he wasn't able to hold it on the grey stuff, and almost hit the barriers on the inside even. So he loses 3 positions there, and Dave Simmons is suddenly up into 6th position and looking to possibly catch up to Richard Wilkes in 5th position. But a very nice recovery drive for Dave here. It's just nice to see in his first and only works drive of this championship. Doing what Tommy Rusta did in 1998. I want to remember that he went from the Total Cup series to drive for the Works Renault team, who did a 3-car entry for the final round at Silverstone that year. But as I mentioned as well, Dave Simmons so far has had a better run at it than Rusta had. Rusta struggled a lot in those 2 races. I want to remember. I don't think he finished in the points in either of the races. And Rusta also had one of the biggest offs during the 90s. I believe it was at Thruxton, but I could be wrong. Where he had a big off in one of the turns and completely mullered the front end of his car. Luckily he was more or less fine, but the car needed some very needed love after that situation. When Peter Lavac just had another moment because he dropped another bit of time, smashed the front left of his car, so I think he may have gone off at Coppis maybe yet again, or possibly in the Fogarty S's. Let's see. Okay, so how many laps is left? Okay, this is the final lap. My apologies. Let's get that going and let's follow this battle for the time being, just in case something happens in the last in the last lap here, with both of them running with the lights on. So Jantits keeps the distance if this finishes like this to whatever it is, just under 20 points I believe for the second in the championship. Unless Coxon gets a move on in the last turn here, but in the meantime Peter Blom goes through the Fogarty hairpin for the final time and goes towards the finish line and gets another win in this championship, so he'll be very happy with that, I'm sure. As he crosses the line, here comes Jan Tits to take second in this race, and third for Richard Coxon. Matthias Weber gets fourth, so he gets his, I believe, his best finish in this championship, so he'll be fairly happy with that, I think. And Richard Wilkes gets fifth, so a good day for the Honda team. As we quickly turn away from that, Dave Simmons gets 6th, with 7th for Ray Riddell and 8th for Jukka Matanen, or maybe, yeah, 8th for Matanen. And 9th will be Juha Bo, so he'll be very happy with that, I'm sure. And 10th will be Peter Lavac, just sliding across the line, I should say. And winning in the Total Cup is Mick Chapman with a good drive here, taking advantage of David Saber's bad luck and driving really well. And 12th and second in the Total Cup is Simon Watman. 13th is
User joined your channel.
Miroslav Havlik. And Peter Lavac finishes 14th, I believe that will be. Yep. Okay, and he is he actually retired as did Havlik during the last few laps. Also, yeah, this is okay. Anyway, so congratulations, Peter, on your second win this evening.
Thank you. I didn't expect that. This it was a bit like the first race, but I did not expect that. I could overtake Jan. I made a dummy maneuver on him, and he reacted to that. He braked a little bit too late, He went on the grass with his left side, so he had enough traction with his, not even with his four-wheel drive, he didn't have enough traction.
Yeah, we caught that on the broadcast.
Huh?
We caught that on the broadcast. That was a really nice manufactured pass, that.
Yeah. So that was the only moment I needed, and I think it was on the second lap already.
Yeah, second or third laps. I'm not entirely sure which of them.
I could see Jan was driving more carefully and more better, but he made a slight mistake. I put him a little bit on the pressure on the straight. Yeah, he made a little mistake, and that was enough to pass him.
Yeah, it's very easily done, but yeah, really good.
It was not easy. It was not easy.
Well, the mistake is easily done. Maybe I should say instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was some hard, fair racing, and good fun to watch that, and some good fun to watch some of the other battles during the evening. But yeah, I'd assume you're very happy with your evening then, taking 2 wins and 2 poles.
It's a great evening.
Completely locking it out as such.
2
looking
fast laps, 2 poles and 2 wins, so it couldn't be better.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Not doing a good job.
Indeed. Yeah, they had the car during the mid-90s, but some bad luck and some other teams also having cars to win didn't mean that they took the championships. But looking forward to the final round of the championship, being Brands Hatch Indy once again. How do you rate your chances there?
I think better this time than the last time at Indy, because last time I had tire problems. Now I got that setup from Greg, and I can pole race. So I think it will be very close because of the nature of the track. But well, I think the guy who does not make any mistake will win it, I think.
Yeah, that's very likely. I mean, we sort of saw that in the second round of the championship when we were at the Brands Hatch in the circuit. Or maybe it was the third round, but in the opening few rounds we saw that at Indy. Some drivers made mistakes, but those who managed to stay out of trouble got some good finishes. I believe you yourself got a second and a fourth, maybe?
No, I think I had problems in both races. I had heating problems for left tires, and I think I came. I did well with qualifying. I think I was second, and I had 1 pole, and I was second one time behind Greg. But in the race, I went down the grid, and I think I finished 6th or 7th or something. Really bad.
Okay. My apologies for not remembering correctly, but it has been many rounds.
Massive problems in the beginning. I can remember Jonatan not getting a podium for like 2 or 3 races. Maybe you cannot imagine that now anymore because I'm winning a lot now. But it's all about the setup.
Yeah, I mean we sort of realized that with Miroslav Havlik. He was struggling to get into the top 10, and then suddenly, I don't know if he got help from you or Greg, or if he just realized how to make the car stick, but he's been in the top 5 for has had a car to be in the top 5 for the previous 3 or 4 rounds now.
Yeah, I think it's of course you have I think you have to practice, before the race, not only on race day but also 1 or 2 days before the race. Then you know all the lines and you can do a fuel run and stuff. That helps me a lot. And also for the race, I can do a very quick lap, but if I do not have a good race setup, I get too much heat in my tires and I fall back and and you cannot race. And I can remember Richard did not have any problems and Greg did not have any problems, and I was falling back, and I never expected to win this championship beginning because I was not getting any podiums. after the first race. After the first race, I had massive problems.
Yeah, I remember that, and especially at Thruxton, I think it was you had. The first time we went to Thruxton, you had a lot of trouble, but after that, you've been flying.
Yep. Can say that, and good up, and I think the Honda is a very good car. I think you saw it with Richard. Richard is one of the best drivers in the league, but his car, Honda has a little bit more horsepower, so that really helps to overtake Jan, and to put him under pressure. And with the Renault, I think the Renault is a very good car. I've not tested it a lot, but it's a very good car. But you cannot pull in Jan hard enough, fast enough to put him under pressure. I think that's why Richard is stuck behind Jan all the time. I think
it's definitely possible, and Jan, as we know, is a very good defender as well. So
yeah, very wide arm.
Indeed.
Big ass.
I remember from a real life race I did. There were in folk race / rallycross. There were a Mercedes 300C in that race, and that was one of the widest cars I've ever seen. He was sideways all over the place, no chance at all to get past.
Yeah. Well, anyway, mate, thank you for broadcasting. I think I'm gonna take a shower now.
Yeah, I can understand that. I saw that you had a very warm room, as many others will have had today.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you very much for joining me and earlier on Pascal in the broadcast booth for this event, and having a quick chat between races and so on. And again, congratulations on your 2 wins, 2 poles, 2 fastest laps, and championship.
Thank you. See you at the next one.
Yep. Take care. And
bye
to
bye.
everyone,
Okay.
cheers.
User
And to everyone
disconnected
else
from your channel.
and to everyone else who tuned in, thank you very much for doing so, and I hope you tune in I believe 2 weeks' time, when we will be at Brands Hatch, the Indy layout for the final round of the championship, which promises to be another stonker with Brands Hatch Indy providing some really close racing. That's always the situation. And hopefully some really good racing, like some of what we saw this evening. But for now, thank you very much for tuning in, and enjoy yourselves. I would also like to point out, by the way, there is a broadcast this Sunday from Portland in the Kart 88 Championship. That will start at 2030 CET. That's 1830 Greenwich time. And that broadcast will be hosted by me, as this one was. But until then, or in 2 weeks' time, thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you have a good time.